Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Silent breed is people! One morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I don't know.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
E.T. phone home.
It's the Al Travis Show. We've got him. Senator Aric Putnam on the program. Senator, how are you today?
I'm all right. How you doing, my friend?
I'm okay. I think as I go through the session with you guys from the sidelines, by the way, you're in the battle. I find exactly how petty I am watching, and I don't know if it makes me feel better about myself. It really doesn't. Might I throw an example out?
Yeah, please do.
So evidently, some representative threw out a bill, which of course people do, and basically it was called the Fraud Isn't Free Act. Caught my attention. Okay. Basically, it didn't get out of committee. I don't understand this. It received a 7-6 favorable vote out of the 14 members, but it didn't get out of the committee because one DFLer was excused. So I don't know. You just guess how she would have voted. I'm not sure. I don't know how that works. Don't care. I kind of care, but I don't care. But basically, what happened was the bill said if there is a significant loss of funds under an agency's watch, that commissioner would take an immediate 25% pay cut, and it would require the firing of a 5-year state employee ban of an employee whose intentional or neglect action caused fraud to occur. I don't know if these are the right numbers, okay, if that's what it should be. But as the petty Al Travis that I am, I'm really not happy that it would seem no one is being held accountable for the stuff we could have taken care of. Is that I don't know if at 25. Now, what do you make, $160K as a commissioner and you get found not taking care of fraud? You go down to $120K. I'm not crying for you. Because I think, what do you make as a senator? Like $50K or something? It's just ridiculous. So I don't know that number bothers me a ton for them. I don't know about the rest, but we got to do something, don't we? That's how petty I'm.
No, I'm with you. We got to do something, but I think that idea is a little bit kooky. I mean, like, so if let's think of this logically. I know we're not supposed to because it's politics, but if you think about this logically, then just go to a straight pay for performance for everyone who works in government. So if they do a good job, do they get a bonus? The commissioner doesn't have control over every single individual in the agency. Like, Doc, that's just silly.
No, here's what you would do, and this is what happens. I know it happens in school, but I won't talk about that because my wife's a teacher. But it happened literally when I was working for a very large corporation in the communications world. They're pay for performance. They got into this gig, and you're in the sales world, and could you make your goals and that sort of thing? And everybody gets, because it was just a number. And if you didn't make your number, you were docked, and it was just so horrible. So everybody gets in this big uprising. Then they came up with a metrics. I don't know who came up with metrics, but came up with a metric. And if you could get a positive number on these 5 categories, then it would go against yours. It was this whole convoluted thing, which actually came down, is Al generally dressed appropriately for the day? I could make that matrix. And it was just stupid crap. Does he seem to get along with his other cohorts? Well, I didn't do well on that, but it was just stuff that had nothing to do with the business either, but it made us all feel good. That's not the way to do it, but here's also not the way to go, sir. So the gal that's now in charge of Department of Human Services has been there since 17, as I understand it, so 9 years. She's been the assistant commissioner for a long time. Got the interim commissioner job for the last year to take the heat about what's going on because the last guy left. She just got made commissioner. Here's Al Petty again. We don't want to see change. You can't have the same people just move up a step and think anything's going to change. And that's where I'm getting mad. So maybe a 25 for, I don't know. I didn't come up with this. So I know I'm petty. I want someone to be held accountable. And not just the fraudsters. If it's true that people in the Department of Human Services falsified records, according to the auditor, is that not a fireable offense?
No, see, I'm with you on that one. See,
that's what I'm saying.
Is like docking your pay sounds weird. I mean, we're gonna have commissioners being paid commission. I feel pretty good about that joke. But is that the plan here? Because that doesn't make any damn sense. You either do your job or get fired, man. That's the way it ought to go.
But no one gets fired is the point. But on the other hand, what'd be funny with as bad as bad as the human services has gone, that person would be paying us at some point. That's okay. That was my joke. Okay, it wasn't as good as the commission. We'll work on it. I just want something done, sir, and I don't feel it. Do you feel it? You're there every day. I'm watching from the sides.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that bothers me, and it's not just around this issue. It's about virtually everything. Is that people just aren't serious. So they come up with an idea. So they are throwing everything at the fraud wall. They're throwing everything at guns. They're throwing everything at ICE, and it's like all these other different issues too. And we had a leader Murphy, who is a great leader and a great human being. In caucus a couple days ago, said the most controversial but useful thing I've heard in politics. If you don't have anything to do, don't have a meeting. Like, just don't do it. Like, if you're just posing and you're just throwing crap at the wall, just shut up and call it a day. Like, if you've got a serious plan to solve a problem, then forward that. But if you've got, I'm getting, as a chair, I get bills from members that are spending like $10 million. We don't have $10 million. Don't do the bill. Don't make the people who work here with us do all this extra work writing bills that aren't going to go anywhere.
This is okay. I'm going to get in trouble. Lack of leadership, in my whole humble opinion. And I'll just say I'm Lisa Damath, okay? I'm not just ripping her for ripping her sake. But let's say I'm the Speaker Damath. I would literally put out the first day, just so you all know there's a lot of big crap we got to take care of. We're going to only take the, let's say, 10 best ideas. That's what we're going to work on. And if that means your 25% pay cut doesn't make it, don't take offense. Send me a quick paragraph. This is what I'm looking at. I'm going to say it's not making the top 10 or it is. And this is what I'm going to work on. Then you all can sit down in committees and work on the top 10. Does that make any sense? There were 7,000 bills proposed last session. 7,000.
Yeah, that's too many.
Because like you say, some poor schlump is sitting in the back office trying to type up the bill that says Main Street can be called Maplewood Street next, whatever. It's like, why are we doing these things? They don't matter.
You know what else is gross is that when someone does a bill that might be substantive, might have some kind of point to it, and someone else hears about it and is like, oh, I wish I would have done that. And then they do the exact same bill, but they change a comma or they put a semicolon in a different place. Like, it's the silly games about this story that sometimes
take this for what it's worth, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. It's kind of like Gustafson's, and I use it to her because that's where I first heard about the OIG bill.
Yeah.
So we're going down this road. 60 of you all senators passed it. It's got people signing up on it, or whatever you guys call it, authoring the thing on both sides. I heard that bill is practically the exact same bill that was offered like 2 or 3 sessions earlier, but from the wrong side. And it's like, I don't really care. Can we not just say it's a good bill? The person who told me that was on the other side, said, yeah, that was the same bill. Basically, it's like, why are you telling me that? Who cares? Let's move this thing forward.
It wasn't, though. The OIG was actually pretty novel. But my point is that, like, exactly, like, why don't we just actually solve a problem? I don't see why it's that challenging. And the OIG situation right now is just silly because the Democrats in the House can't get their themselves together around it, I don't think. And I just don't get it.
You don't get to rip your side as much as I get to, but let me do this. There is something else there. You can't get, I don't think I could find 67 Democratic people that I know that are pro-fraud. I mean, we're not. Right. So they're not pro-fraud. They went through voting it down last time. As I understand it, the governor did not want to have to sign that thing, so just don't bring it to a vote. Okay, maybe that's true, maybe not. But we went through 9 months of living heck in Minnesota talking about how crappy we were at all this, and you can't tell me there's one middle-of-the-road Democrat that says, it isn't a perfect bill, but it gets us in the right direction, gives us a win. I'm gonna vote for it. There's got to be something pushing them, and I got to think it's higher up. And I'm sorry, I think it's the governor. Somehow, somewhere, even though he says, I want to sign an OIG bill, he doesn't want this one. And he's stopping it. That's the only, you tell me something else. How can you can't tell me it's got to be the perfect bill. We have never passed a perfect bill, so let's get this darn good one going that half of the senators can say, on your side, say it's a good bill. You know what I'm saying? We're playing games. Drives me nuts.
Well, I mean, I don't know about how the bill is getting treated in the House or how the governor feels about it. I've heard rumors too, but I don't really know. But I do know also that I hear a lot of folks in our community who are concerned that if we're sloppy with stopping fraud, we actually stop the help that people get. So I was talking to someone about preferred provider status or whatever, like a
Yeah.
TSA pre-check
Mhm,
for
yeah.
nonprofits and stuff like that. I think that's a super smart idea and pretty clear. But we got to do something to make sure we're still helping people. We don't just,
Well, and you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But as an example, you put the law out that, okay, now you have to have some licensure to be an autism center.
Mhm.
500 autism centers out there a year before, 6 applied for the licensure. What, the money wasn't good enough to fill the paperwork out? You're just going to give up the business? It's rife with fraud. I mean, like I'm saying, yeah, it's rife with fraud. You have to do something. We can't keep 496 of them flush with cash so the 6 get it right. You got to start over. I mean, that's really tough, but I don't know how you get around it. I get your point. There are real people trying to do real work, and they get caught up in this. They should be that much madder.
Mhm. Well, and I think a lot of them are. I'm hearing from a lot of people who are pretty mad. They're like, I'm one of the good ones. Leave me alone. And that's out there.
All right, we're running a little late. I'll lead you with this. The governor said this was organized crime. Do you remember that? Like almost 6 months ago, he said that there's fraud everywhere. This is organized crime. We're going to talk about the organized crime and how organized it really is right after this. I've got him, Senator Aric Putnam, on the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
as in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
And I've got him, Senator Aric Putnam, on the program with us. Senator, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, my friend.
All right, here's where I'm going to throw this at you. The governor comes out and mentions that this is organized crime. These are brilliant people that do this for a living, and it's very hard to keep. This actually happened out of your neck of the woods. So some kid, 22 years old, actually didn't make it through community college up there. Probably pretty smart young man. Got out and started Star Autism Center. Started hiring his college buddies, a couple of his relatives, teenage kids, and got $6 million from the state of Minnesota for running this autism center. Spent a couple $100,000 here and there. The point to me, between him and the two guys that, what do they call it? Fraud tourism, ran over here from Pennsylvania and set it up a thing. We aren't going against the brightest criminal minds of all time. This isn't Al Capone kind of crap with auditors and stuff that can hide money. This is just people signed up, sir. This isn't this hard. And here's where my problem comes in. Governor comes out with his 18-point proposal on how we're going to fix Minnesota. And it's doubling the penalties or whatever. And I'm for it. Throw them all in jail. I really am that guy. But not one thing said how we would do better in-house to make sure knotheads like that can't just start a business and get $6 million. We're not trying to solve our own problem.
I'm with you. I mean, I think we are trying. We just still haven't gotten there yet.
I'm not saying you. The governor paid Optum to come up with their analysis, and they literally said $1.7 billion would be saved if we followed the rules that you made up, you guys made up, and we don't. If I was a governor, first plan, because I can take care of this tomorrow, we're going to start following the rules that the Senate and the House came up with. Well, there's $1.7 million in your pocket, or billion in your pocket. Next thing would be looking at the what was the guy, O'Malley or whatever, he hired him as the independent guy, 57-page report. In his report, he didn't say he wanted an OIG. He wanted an independent statewide monitor. Sounds like an OIG to me. Call it what you want. But that would have been you get my point is I don't think we're changing anything. And that drives me nuts.
No, so I agree and disagree at the same time. I think that we're changing some stuff, but we might not be changing the right stuff or enough of it yet. But there are lots of people working on this. It's just super complicated. And one of the challenges is that, well, there's a couple of things. One of them is a lot of our resources dispersed at the county level. So we have these kind of we have a lack of consistency on that front. One of the other challenges is that the agencies don't all behave the same. So right now, I think, I'm the chair of the Veterans Committee, and we're in a fight with a nonprofit that said, no, we don't want to tell you how we're spending the money. But MDVA is on top of it, and they're engaged, and they're saying, no, you don't get the money if you're not going to tell us how you're going to spend the money. Like, they're doing the right thing, and Department of Ag doing the same thing. So it's not throughout all of government. It's localized to specific agencies that don't have their crap together, which is why we need a watchdog to keep the agencies behaving.
But this is my point. Go make more laws. If they're not going to follow the laws you make anyway, you're just making laws for law's sake is actually the point. One that I did see, which I like, and you're going to say, Al, you're a smaller government guy. I am, but I like this, is that if you're going to work for us in the people front business, autism, whatever, you have to set up a ring cam. You have to, your daycare, you got to be sitting there. And it all goes to a centralized, I almost like a Walmart guy, he sits there, got 65 cameras in every aisle. We're going to have one of those at the Capitol, one in that fancy new Capitol building we're putting up there. We're going to be sitting there, and he's just going to monitor. And when this guy shows up and no one ever shows up, we'll have film of it that no one ever shows up, and you just monitor it. And I think just having the camera there, now that's a cost of business. They got to put a ring camera in or whatever the heck it is. Mm-hmm. You got to set it. Why not? The state's going to monitor you.
All right, so now I'm the crazy radical conservative because
I put you in a bad spot, didn't I?
Well, no, I mean the idea of the government filming my kid, I don't like that at all. I don't like the idea of putting cameras in the autism centers to record children and stuff like that and have that.
Well, how about the recording if they actually have children?
Well, no, stop in and check. That's cool. Stop in and check. And whatever, surveil from outside. I don't know. I don't want.
That's a novel idea. This.
As a
it's not my ultimate. It isn't my. I don't like the cost of the business. They got to pay for it and ship it. I don't like it. But we can't seem to get our people to stop in and check.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to do that, now what? Well, just keep sending the dang checks, for heaven's sakes. We trust you because you said you can do it. This kid, I just wonder what was wrong with me at 22 that I couldn't come up with a $6 million. And then he might go to prison for 5 years. Then you take good behavior off. It might be 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's darn good money. Now, you got to put up with being in prison. I'm not saying that's a good thing. But a couple $1 million a year, if you get caught, yeah, you might actually think about it. Look at, you're even thinking about it. It's like, I only make $50K a year being the stupid senator.
What I get paid. You know what I get paid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And as I just did my taxes this week and the whole tax thing, and how worried I get about doing it right, because I honestly think if I don't have a receipt for the thing that I wrote off, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm all concerned.
Yeah.
Evidently, there are people that don't worry that much like I do.
It's true. It's true, and they think they're going to get away with it, and they do.
And most do.
Both those things are not cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, this guy, so the head guy goes to jail. He made his $6 million for 3 years, but he was talking about the people who are getting kickbacks, the moms and dads and stuff. I would never sleep another night worried that someone would come and pick me up because I was getting kickbacks from my kid. I wouldn't sleep at night. I'm just different, I guess. Or you would. I know you would.
I think I'm just too lazy. I'm too lazy to commit a crime because that's more work than going to work. You know what I mean? Like, I just
you're lazy and I'm just stupid because I should have come up with some of this stuff years ago. This is too easy to make the money. I gotta go. I love having you on, Senator. Appreciate you.
Great to see you, my friend. Take care.
He's Senator Aric Putnam.